So we can kick a little something, something. Good morning. Please remain standing for the posting of the colors by Central State University Army ROTC, Marauder Battalion. Thank you. Please be seated. Next, the Central State University Chorus, under the direction of Mr. Jeremy Winston, will perform the musical selection, Hallelujah. Good morning. I am F. Eric Brooks, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. At this time, we would like to recognize the guests on the platform as well as other special guests. As your name is called, please stand. Beginning on my right, Dr. Alex Johnson, Interim President, Central State University. Dr. Marakio Kuti, Vice President for Research, Economic Development, and Director of the 1890 Land Grant Programs, and incoming President-elect. Ms. Erin Smith, Keynote Speaker, Class of 2007. Ms. Jacqueline T. Gamblin, Chair, Central State University Board of Trustees. Ms. Linda Matthews, Central State University Board of Trustees. Mr. Richard Perry, Central State University Board of Trustees. On my left, Dr. Derek Anderson, Central State University Foundation President. Ms. Natalia S. Harris, Esquire, Central State University Board of Trustees. Ms. Faith Bondurant, Central State University Student Trustees. Mr. Stefan Thomas, 2324 Mr. CSU. Ms. Raven Gallaudet, Ms. 2324 Miss CSU. And Ms. Sydney Grayson, SGA President. On the back row, on my right, we have Mr. Keith Aaron Perkins, Class of 82, Alumni Director. We have Mr. Anthony E. Gardner, Class of 92, National Alumni Association Director. We have Dr. Gonzalo J. Rodriguez, II, Class of 1979, honoree. We have Dr. Jane R. Colton, Class of 78, honoree. We have Miss Susan Suzanne F. Stanley, class of 71, honoree. We have Miss Evelyn Garrett Jackson, class of 1969, honoree. We have Dr. Deborah Bird Frazier, Chief Marshal. On the back row, on my left, we have Mr. Samuel P. Martin, class of 81, honoree. We have Miss Chronicle A. Jackson, class of 1983, honoree. We have Mr. Philip Black, class of 1986, honoree. We have Mr. Manuel Brooks, class of 1987, honoree. We have Miss Kimberly Johnson, class of 1998, honoree. We have Miss Don Floyd, class of 1999, honoree. And we have Mr. Wayne Knox, class of 2008, honoree. I would like to recognize other distinguished guests in our audience. Today, with us, we have Ohio State Senator Bob Hackett and Cameron Anderson, Southwest Regional Representative, representing Mr. Sherrod Brown. All local, state elected officials, please stand and be recognized. Mayor of Dayton, Jeffrey Mims, we want to recognize him and give him a special All National Alumni Association Board of Directors, please stand to be recognized. All Central State University Foundation members, please recognize to recognize. Previous Alumni Achievement Hall of Fame honorees, please stand and recognize. The executive leadership team, academic deans, chairs, faculty, and staff, please stand to be recognized. At this time, we have a special recognition from the General Assembly of the State of Ohio, recognizing our Charter Day. At this time, I would like to read this proclamation. General Assembly of the State of Ohio, House of Representatives, under the sponsorship of the Speaker Jason Stevens, House District 93, and Representative Bill Dean, House District 71. On behalf of the members of the House of Representatives of the 135th General Assembly of Ohio, we are pleased to commend Central State University on behalf of the commemoration of its 137th charter year, March 5, 2024. Recognition of this memorable event is indeed a fitting tribute to Central State University, for since its inception, it has played a valuable role in preparing countless people for the future. This observance recognizes the thousands of administrators, faculty, staff, students, and alumni who built a legacy of excellence and preserved in the mission and vision of this fine institution. And in the years to come, CSU will certainly help more individuals become capable and well-rounded. Education is vital to our nation's economic and social well-being. And as the need for global learning and understanding increases, so do the demands placed upon our system of higher education. Over the years, all of those associated with Central State University have consistently and effectively met these challenges, and as they take part in this charter celebration, the students, staff, and alumni of this exemplary institution can be justly proud of its accomplishments. Thus, with great pleasure, we congratulate Central State University on its 137th charter year and extend the best wishes for ongoing success. Representative Bill Dean and Jason Stevens. In our audience, we have legislative aide Joe McCloskey. If you would, please stand and be recognized. Now we'll have Mr. Stephan Thomas, who will give us the welcome and occasion for this day.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Stephan Thomas, a senior majoring in manufacturing engineering, proudly serving as the 16th Mr. Central State University. Good morning and heartfelt welcome. Good morning and heartfelt welcome to the grand occasion of the 137th Charter Day celebration of Central State University. Today we stand on the threshold of history, commemorating over a century of excellence, resilience, and progress as our esteemed institution. As we gather here surrounded by the echoes of the past and the promises of the future, we are reminded of the profound impact Central State University has had on countless lives, communities, and the world at large. For 137 years, Central State University has stood as a bastion of knowledge, a testimony of transformation, and a beacon of hope for generations of scholars. From humble beginnings, our university has grown and flourished. Guided by the steadfast commitment of visionary leaders, dedicated faculty, staff, and alumni who all played a pivotal role in shaping our shared destiny. To our distinguished guests, both esteemed alumni and esteemed friends, your presence here today is a testament to the enduring legacy and spirit of Central State University. Whether you are returning to walk down memory lane, to rekindle old friendships, or to forge new connections, we are profoundly grateful for your unwavering support and commitment to our university's mission. As we reflect on the journey that has brought us to this momentous occasion, let us also look with hope, determination, and resolve. Let us reaffirm our collective commitment to academic excellence, inclusivity, and the pursuit of knowledge that is at the heart of our university's principles. Today, as we celebrate the 137th Charter Day of Central State University, let us dedicate ourselves to the noble task of nurturing future leaders, innovators, and change makers who will continue to shape a better tomorrow for generations to come. Thank you for joining us as we honor the past, celebrate the present, and embrace the balanced possibilities of our future. Together, let us embark on this journey of celebration, reflection, and renewal, united in our shared commitment to the enduring legacy of Central State University. May this Charter Day be remembered as a testament of our collective spirit, resilience, and unwavering dedication to excellence. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to invite Ms. Sydney Gracie to the podium to introduce today's keynote speaker, Professor Aaron Smith.
Greetings, esteemed faculty, staff, centurions, and fellow riders. I am Sydney Grayson, the 2022, 2023, 2024 Student Government Association President. And today I have the honor of introducing our beloved centurion and keynote speaker, Professor Aaron M. Smith. Aaron Smith is an associate professor of art, advisor of the Visual Arts Club, former VP of the board for the Dayton Society of Artists, and proud alum of Central State University. The only HBCU in the Midwest and one of the only 16 HBCUs nationwide with a fully accredited fine arts program. She holds a terminal degree of the Master's in Fine Arts from the University of Cincinnati with a concentration in 2D art studio arts, working in a variety of media and mixed media. Since 2009, the same year her daughter was born, as well as the same year she earned her respective MFA, Aaron has exhibited works in Ohio, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, Vermont, Texas, Louisiana, and Illinois, including an international renowned exhibit in Norfolk, Virginia, as well as numerous solo exhibitions. In 2022, she was awarded Best in Show for her 4x8 foot painting of her daughter in the New Women Art exhibit, hosted collaboratively by the Pennington Arts Center and the Clifton Cultural Arts Center in Cincinnati, Ohio. Upon completion of the new Clifton Cultural Arts Center building in early 2024, a gallery in honor of Elizabeth Norris, an Cincinnati native, and the first woman to gain international fame through her artwork in 1859 and 1938, will be housed in the new CCAC. As a feature included in the Best in Show prize package, Professor Smith Lynn has been invited to spend 3 months creating new work in Cincinnati's only home established by America's most famous architect, Frank Lloyd Wright. The Elizabeth Norris Gallery will be dedicated primarily to women artists, which is profound considering less than 10% of art by women is established in galleries and museums nationwide. As this inaugural artist of the new CCAC, the public is formally invited to attend the opening reception on March 9th, 2024. Aaron's work, along with interviews, can be found at notable publications and sites including Create Magazine, The Layered Onion, and social benefit organizations, where art and mental health intersect, as well publicly installed works in downtown Dayton Public Schools, and in CSU's Foundation Hall too. Through her ambassadorship with Royal Talents, a leading international art supplier, expansions as both an artist and professor always finds its way from the studio back into the classroom to expose students to world-class creative materials. Speaking of world-class, Professor Smith-Glenn is extremely excited to lead a trip to Paris, France in December of 2024. Here, they will be studying Black art and influences that has shaped the modern-day Paris, as Black people have done worldwide throughout the time. This trip follows her first successful faculty-led trip to Rome and Florence in 2022. Unlike her initial 2008 experience, during her graduate studies, as the only person of color in attendance, all participants of the CSU-led group to Italy in 2002 were women of color. Respectfully, among Erin's lifelong pursuits, it is continually to practice her artwork, overall creative experiences, vowing to never stop growing as an artist and an individual, while always striving to install this concept in her students and her three children, Zion, Zachary, and Xavier Glenn, as she does within herself. The New Woman Award, stated above, has already begun to provide students with the opportunities to engross themselves on the art scene. A major goal in her legacy is to improve the involvement of status of people of color, especially Black women, throughout the art world, now and beyond her earthly presence. Erin proudly stands on the shoulders of many people, and while she strives to be the same catalyst for others. Please welcome Professor Erin.
I love you. Love you guys so much. Grand Rising, everyone. And thank you to all who have joined us here on this marvelous occasion. You all look really good, by the way. Make sure before you guys change, you walk around a little bit more so people can see y'all before y'all get out, because y'all looking good. All right. Giving gratitude first and foremost to the Creator, who has blessed me with boundless creativity. To Mr. Keith Perkins, where are you? There you are. When you called me back in January, I was having a particularly low day, and you didn't know that. You probably couldn't tell because when I answered the phone, I was all cheery, But you really lifted my spirits. Thank you very much for inviting me to do this. And for those of you that are at home watching, thank you so much. Thank you to the administration, faculty, staff, students, families, and all friends and supporters of Central State University. I meditated and envisioned what I would be tasked with delivering to you all. And, on a day like today, where I'm given the opportunity to reach more people at one time than I normally would, I decided to put on my advocacy hat. Okay, because I didn't always have people like me when I was in your seats, but in the instance when I did encounter someone like me who had just the right word at just the right time, I listened. Thank you for listening to me today. I'm going to start with a quote. An artist's duty, as far as I'm concerned, is to reflect the times. I think it is true of painters, sculptors, poets, musicians, and as far as I'm concerned, I choose to reflect the times and situations in which I find myself. That is my duty. And at this crucial time in our lives when everything is so desperate, when every day is a matter of survival, I don't think you can help but to be involved. Young people know this, which is why they are so involved in politics. We will shape and mold this country, or it will not be shaped at all anymore. So, I don't think you have a choice. How can you be an artist and not reflect the times? That to me is the definition of an artist. The incomparable and fiery Nina Simone quoted this during the civil rights movement over 60 years ago. Interesting how these words ring so true today, and yet while we continue to make strides across humanity, why is it that we continue to find ourselves right back where we started? Not just as an individual, but as a community, a society. Our suffering has only manifested itself in more modern ways. It's about time that we have a pertinent conversation about the silent killer that shows no prejudice in a world full of them. The mental health public epidemic that is all the while so private. The number 3 cause of death among Black women. The number 2 destroyer of people ages 15 to 24. And firearm violence, which is the number 1 killer of children today, has time and time again been carried out by someone who has seriously lacked in the topic of mental health and wellness. It is a crisis like none other than we've ever seen, and at this point in our nation's current state, how do we not find ourselves stressing about our health and safety when so many daily tasks could potentially put our mortality at stake? And in the fight for mortality, we're losing sight of our sanity, which appears to be slipping further and further away at increased rates, largely due in part to those high-powered devices that lead to shorter attention spans. We've become robots programmed to get the job done in the most impressive of fashions until we burn out slowly. As if this is the truest form of achieving and being successful. And in the fight for opportunities, at times we sacrifice our morality, only to find ourselves feeling like we've invested so much with so little in return. This epidemic has continued to escalate as suicide rates have drastically increased across all age groups. Listen, 48% over the past 20 years. Did you know that a generation is defined as about 20 years? In the struggle for constantly finding things to temporarily fill our voids, we continue to ignore the importance of holistic health, which is defined as wellness that addresses the physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual components of health. The problem is that we've only focused on aspects of health for visual and vanity purposes rather than on being healthy as a lifestyle in and of itself. The problem is also that we're too distracted to even care anymore. But I wonder what would happen if we all decided to take our very existence more seriously. So seriously that maybe we decided to look more closely at food labels, where upon looking more closely, you'll find what honest science continues to tell us. There is a close link between your food and your mood. I wonder if it would even make people cringe if they knew how food is becoming intentionally more addictive so that you can get sicker more slowly over time, forcing you to run from that checkout line to the pharmacy counter at the same place where you're buying the things that are killing you slowly every day. I wonder if people would ever consider moving around more and taking the stairs more, if they knew that 45 minutes of exercise a day can not only prevent over 46,000 cancer cases annually, but it could decrease your risk of depression and similar disorders by at least 25%. When I began to really read, research, and then translate these food labels, and when I truly saw how we're being manipulated, I felt the need to stand here and let you all know that although our health is often being taken advantage of as a society by the very companies we trust and support, we also can individually and collectively improve our circumstance by advocating for all people's health and wellness everywhere. Whether your fight is to end generational discriminatory practices in the workplace, like hair discrimination, come on, Crown Act, okay? Look it up if you don't know about it. This discrimination leads to decreased sense of self-image and self-worth. Or maybe your fight is to create opportunities for more people of color in the food, nutrition, and holistic health industries. Or whether you just plan to use your voice to tell the people the things that they need to hear for their best lives, then how can you do all these great things if you don't first take care of you while looking out for those closest to you, especially if you all have each other's best interests at heart? The struggle is real, y'all. to live happy and healthy in what is supposed to be the greatest nation on earth. Because we're either in denial or we feel that as long as we go hard, have money, look the part, then we're good. And why should we complain? But what if those things are no longer enough? What if life is piled so high that you can't even fake the funk anymore? I'm speaking to Black people specifically now. What happens to a community where 80% of the members are too ashamed of the associated stigmas to even be tested for mental wellness? What happens in a community where we were never given the proper therapy and healing that we needed in a newly emancipated world, and our disparities carried from our ancestors to our current generations? We need to remember that health is the first wealth, and it starts from the top down. Listen, y'all, despite your busy class schedule, teaching load, work-life balance, even emergencies, we can be more intentional and more proactive when it comes to our lifestyle of mental, emotional, physical, social, and spiritual holistic health. It can be done at any time and in many ways that can help you and everyone you come into contact with. Lately, I've incorporated meditation and mindfulness practices in my classes, and these practices have been closely linked with an increase in cognitive, emotional, and creative functions, as well as interpersonal relationships. I've noticed that my students seem less anxious, more focused, more consistent to the end, and my hope is that they will add this very important tool to the many that they will gain as a result of being in my presence. But it doesn't have to end with me, friends, colleagues. Mindfulness data constantly shows us how it improves every aspect of our lives and can also be considered a form of medicine. Imagine if we all made time and space to take it seriously, to ground ourselves, apply it to our lives over time, share it with others for their life, and watch it manifest into more abundant and fulfilling lives. Lives that are saved and not lost due to excessive stress, pent-up anxiety, and unresolved disorders, especially those that are preventable. So what I've learned from my own life and those around me, and what I hope you all will take away from me, is this: take good care of yourselves. You deserve it. You're worth it. We need you here, and more importantly, you're not alone. There's a song that says, no matter how you feel, speak the word and you will be healed. Speak over yourself. You have to encourage yourself and stop expecting someone else to do it for you. You have to be intentional about your health from the top down and the inside out. This past weekend, I opened an exhibit. The reception is on March 16th in Dayton, in which I invited visitors to come up and water the plants hanging from some baskets I made, and to imagine that it was them pouring into a part of themselves where they currently felt a void. Imagine that as they were pouring the water into the plant, that they could take that connection and apply it to their own lives. I use my art to reach the heart, spirit, and mind of people. It may be the only way I connect with someone, and I don't even always have to meet them in order to make this connection. At this point, my artwork has traveled to more places than I have, so if it helps someone somewhere, then it could potentially trickle down into the next person they see and the next. I really hope you all manifest these words into your life persistently over time, and I vow to do the same. I want to thank my students for always inspiring me. Sometimes the mentor becomes the mentee, and you have to be humble and wise enough to receive moments like this when they happen to you. Also, students, your professors, advisors, faculty, even the administration, we have obligations just as you do. We are not bound to be infallible. We have our rough days too, on top of the fact that we are obviously outnumbered in the classroom. Thank you for showing gratitude, because we're not exempt from the pitfalls of life. We experience joy and grief, laughter and sadness, pain and suffering, and we often go about our day as if none of this is happening to us, but I guarantee you that every single soul in this room is experiencing some dissatisfactory moment in life as we speak. We're not robots, and neither are you. Understand that even once you leave here, ready for the world, you'll still need to maintain positive connections with these people. So make wise choices because your future self is looking at you right now, depending on you for their sake. Remember always that you did not get here by your own cognizance alone. Even as you sit in your seats, you are still standing on the shoulders of many. Thank you to my colleagues, Professor Daniel, Dr. Claxton, Professor Eisman, Professor Champion, for your ongoing support, and that extends to my music department family as well. You guys inspire me to great heights. Thank you to my professors here who trained me well, Dwayne Daniel, Leroy Porter, Ronald Claxton, Abner Cope, Bing Davis, James Pate. Thank you for being my lifelong professors, mentors, and friends. I continue to learn from you all. In the spirit of Women's Month, shout out to, first of all, Columbus East High School, go Tigers, especially the class of 2003, and to my first art teacher, a Black woman named Miss Lynn Prillerman Muse, who would give me special assignments, which I thought was her way of punishing me at first. But she saw in me back then what you all see today. Thank you, Miss Muse. Thank you to my graduate school professors at the University of Cincinnati, especially Dr. Christy Nelson, who gave me my first experience of studying abroad, an experience that has largely shaped my life to this day. Shout out to all the women professors in the house today. Holla. Thank you, Professor Nikisha Darby, for your kindness. Where are you? Friends, don't do that. You're gonna make me cry, stop it. Thank you, and for reaching out to collaborate on meaningful projects. Professor Jennifer Turpin Stanfield, I'd like to think that your yoga classes and your friendship has literally saved my life. Dr. Sonia Hunt. You are so richly loved and appreciated around here, as you can see. Your efforts have already become legendary as you open your heart and lend your expertise in the hopes of saving and empowering lives. By the way, y'all moved our favorite maintenance person, Miss Gail. I don't know if she's in the house today, but yeah, it's my girl. We miss you over here. Y'all took her away from us, but it's all right. We're gonna try to petition to get her back. Okay, so yeah, let me get to this. All those of you from the maintenance staff to the advisors and all CSU extended family, thank you for all the times where you lent an ear to someone because you knew it could possibly be the difference between them being here or not. And speaking, yeah, I've had some moments like that with some students, all right? And speaking of which, thank you to the homies, my people who I have literally leaned on, my ride or dies, my sands. Tamisha Hearns, the ultimate ride or die, and probably the funniest person I've ever met. Robin White came all the way here from Detroit. Hey! Yeah. Hasha took off work today. Look at you, girl. You look good. Tamara Sullivan and Ashley are here with us in spirit. Love you guys. You are my sorors, but more importantly, my sisters and my friends. Thank you for all the great times, past, present, and future, and for keeping me lifted during my darkest hours. Shout out to my band family, okay? CSU band family. I'm definitely talking to y'all, definitely. But I'm mainly talking to that 2003 to 2007 Honda Battle of the Bands, Dave Chappelle Block Party class. I'm talking to them, yeah. I must say a quick but genuine thank you to all of my artist friends, especially in Dayton, Cincinnati, and Columbus, because it is an honor to work alongside and simply to know you all. I want to thank most of all my very supportive family who has encouraged me in many ways, many times over. My mother, Billie Jean, and my children are in the audience. 3 generations of my family here, and look at the growth we've achieved. Right, Mom? You all are my sanctuary and my safe space. To my mother, the incomparable Billie Jean Bridgeforth, I rise up and call you blessed. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. To my three greatest masterpieces, my greatest accomplishments, past, present, and future, my children, Zion Alana, Zachary Abraham, and Xavier Aaron Glenn, right behind y'all. I'm sure you guys are missing school so badly right now, okay? But I just wanted to bring you here to publicly tell you how much I really needed you in my life. You have greatly enriched my legacy. I ain't no poet no more, but you know, I love you, my children, more than all the bristles and all the paintbrushes in all the world. And last but not least, shout out to the musical sorors of Tau Beta Sigma National Honorary Band Sorority Incorporated and the brothers, Kappa Kappa Psi National Honorary Band Fraternity Incorporated. Thank you, sorors, for serving as today's ushers, which is a first for us. So this is a shared victory, and y'all look good too. And what better time, what better time than this year, the 40th anniversary of the charter of Eta Eta and Theta Delta chapters. Long live Eta Eta and Theta Delta. Bros and sorors, cousins, Mu Phi Epsilon, and all musically inclined, people here today, listen, please use your music and any creative talents as melodic medicine and change the world one note, one lesson, one day at a time. Lastly, I hope you all take a mental health break right up to our second floor Charles White Gallery, where we are currently showcasing the annual exhibition of student artwork. These students have filled the walls and our lives with their creative expression. And if you allow yourself, you too can be transformed by your work. Thank you all for your time today. Get home safely, all right?
Let's give Professor Smith another round of applause for that heartfelt message. And I hope that some of us will take the things that she said, the words that she said, and really put them to use. At this time, we will have Miss Galladay to do a special presentation.
Yes, Ms. Aaron, would you mind coming back up, please? Yes. We just want to thank you again for coming home and sharing your story and sharing wise words of wisdom to us. We really appreciate you, and I'm going to give this to you. Thank you so much.
We will now have the Central State Chorus render another musical selection, Daniel, Servant of the Lord.
servant of the Lord. Daniel, 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 Lord.
Among the Hebrew nation, a Hebrew Daniel was found. They put him in the lion's den. He stayed there all night long.
While the king cried, oh, Daniel, Daniel, oh, Daniel, Daniel, oh,
The Hebrew Daniel,
servant of the Lord.
now the king in his sleep was troubled, and early in the morning he rose to find God has sent his angel down to lock the so the king cried, oh,
Daniel, 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 Daniel,
Daniel, oh,
the Hebrew Daniel, servant of the Lord.
the king cried,
Oh, the king, oh, Daniel, Daniel,
Daniel, Daniel, Daniel, that Hebrew Daniel,
servant of the Lord, that servant of the Lord, that servant of the Lord.
Let's give them another round of applause. I promise you, if I had a voice like that, you would never get me to shut up. I would like to invite Mr. Anthony A.G. Gardner, President of the National Alumni Association, to the podium.
Good morning. Today, we celebrate 137 years of academic excellence. We also are about to induct 11 new members into our Alumni Achievement Hall of Fame. So with that being said, good morning, Central State University. Before I bring up the honorees for a few remarks, I have a few announcements to make and acknowledgments, and I will be doing it throughout the program as each one of them come up here and speak. But before I, first acknowledgement, graduates of Central State University, please stand and be recognized. If you're a graduate, alumnus, please stand. Yes, yes, yes. It is always good to come home. We are home, and welcome back. When I ran for president of the National Alumni Association, I ran on two things that I wanted to achieve during my presidency. And that was, the first one was to have a voice and a seat at the table. I want to acknowledge Dr. Alex Johnson, our interim president. When he first came on, yes. Me and Mr. Dr. Johnson, I don't want to say Mr. Dr. Johnson, President Johnson, our interim president, have had several conversations in the last 7 to 8 months. Very challenging questions, but he always heard me out and I always heard him out. And I think that we're on the same page on a lot of things. I also want to acknowledge our chair of the Board of Trustees, Ms. Jacqueline Gamblin, as well. I don't bother her as much as I bother the president, but when I do bother her, she does call back and get back with me as soon as she can. A few years ago, it was a great poet by the name of Sean Carter. Some of you guys might know him as Jay-Z, right? He had a song called Family Feud, and one of the lyrics says, "No one wins when the family feuds." And I say that because today is a great day at Central State University because we have the foundation back with us. So I want to acknowledge the Central State University Foundation President, Mr. Derek Anderson. So like I said, I'm going to have a few announcements throughout the program as each honoree comes up to speak. But my first one is for the alumni. You guys see the reports in the newspaper, in the news. Our school needs us. It's time. It's no more excuses. Time to get active, get involved, have a voice, be proactive. We've been there before. We're going to get better, correct? All right. Next announcement for the alumni, June 21st and June 22nd, Toledo, Ohio, our annual alumni weekend and annual meeting. Please plan to attend. So, without further ado, I'm also going to be giving out shout outs too throughout the program, but let's get started for what we really came here for. From Cincinnati, Ohio, still living in Cincinnati, Ohio, from the class of 1969, Miss Evelyn Garrett Jackson.
All right, everyone. This is the day. This is the day. 137 years and still beautiful to me. Age is a number, and it doesn't matter because when the heart is beating and the mind is thinking and the drive to do what is right is present, there is no obstacle we cannot pass. We cannot conquer. I thought about writing a written statements to be said, but all I really want to do is say thank you. God has blessed me to live the 77 years. And the first time that I set my feet on this campus, I had no idea where it was. I didn't even know I had family connection here on the university. But the thing that impressed me most is what is still alive and well on the campus with the instructors, the professors, the folks that impact one another's lives as we travel through the finest hour of our lives. And the things that we learn, the places that we get to go after we graduate, that is even more important. And we always are the faces and the people that represent where we come from, be it from birth, when we were in high school, when we're in college, until the day we leave this earth. So let us not grow weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. That was Galatians 6:9.
All righty. Like I said, I'll be giving shout outs throughout the program. My first shout out is a young man from the class of 1985. He is our 10th president to be, Dr. Cootie. It was an honor. Well, I don't see Trustee Hatcher is not here today. I wanted to acknowledge him for allowing me to be on the search committee as we search for our new president. It was a pleasure and honor to be on that committee and to be able to select the three finalists that we forwarded on to the Board of Trustees. And I'm very happy with the selection that was made for our next president of our university. All right, our next honoree is doing a double duty today. Today is also her birthday. From Indianapolis, Indiana, currently living in Chicago, Illinois, from the class of 1971, Miss Suzanne F. Stanley.
Good morning. It is my birthday, and I'm so excited that I'm able to celebrate this tremendous honor on this wonderful day. To our new president, Kute, the Board of Trustees, the National Alumni Association, and its president, Anthony Garner, who's doing an incredible job. Give him a hand. And our Director of Alumni Affairs, Mr. Keith Perkins, who is phenomenal. Give him a hand. And to my family and friends who've come today to show their support and love. And to all of you, I say good morning. I am tremendously grateful for this recognition. God is blessing me right now. So many times in our life, our efforts go unnoticed and certainly uncelebrated. So I am extremely happy to be numbered among those who are part of this August body of Hall of Achievement inductees. I have had an illustrious life and career. I've operated in corporate America, in boardrooms and in church basements. I've worked as a business owner. I am now running my third business. I've created and founded over 40 events and programs and served on numerous boards, counseled business owners and politicians. But none of these achievements would have been materialized without the foundation that was provided to me here at Central State University. To those of you who are current students, most of my remarks will come to you. I urge you to value and cherish your time at this wonderful institution. Do not make light of the opportunity you have been afforded. Appreciate and ingest all of these opportunities. Do not make light of the classes that you take. Study in all of them, not just those who you have deemed to be your major. Do not make light of how valuable the information can be to you in the future. By remaining committed to your studies, you will gain the capacity to achieve all that you desire. By remaining committed to your studies, you are forming the foundation of becoming an interesting and well-informed individual that will allow you to stand out among your peers as you navigate your career. You will be able to deal with the world in the future. Prioritize your mind over everything and everyone else. Your job is to study and learn. That's what you are here for. The world is a big place, and because of technology, you will become part of a global society. You cannot afford to be left behind, unsure, or unaware of how to maneuver and navigate. You must make every experience count. This is non-negotiable. Unless you have a crystal ball or you can see into the future, there is no way for you to know what life has in store for you. But trust and believe. If you avail yourself to all that you can learn here at Central State University, that as you navigate the journey that will define your life, like the name of one of the recent programs I created, Building Better Futures, you can experience a future that is better than you could ever imagine. And when you leave this place, never forget that it was Central State University that armed you with the tools to embark upon your life journey. Never forget to give back, both in dollars and in time. The institution and the Alumni Association need each and every graduate to do their part to foster education for future generations. Thank you, and enjoy the journey.
All righty. Give back. It's important. Students, if you're not aware, the National Alumni Association, we give back. We give scholarships. For the last 7 years, we've been able to give $20,000 annually to the student body. And for the last 2 years, yes, clap up, yes, $20,000 to the students. In the last 2 years, we've been able to give an additional $10,000 thanks to our very own Congresswoman Joyce Beatty. See, I had a speech written out, but I did a pivot because you guys were in a good mood after that. After the choir performed, I thought I would have to give you guys a pep talk to get everybody up and running. So, with that being said, my stuff is out of order. I don't want to mess up the order of these honorees. So, give me a second here. I think Suzanne flipped my book over here. All right, here we go. Our next honoree from Youngstown, Ohio, currently living in Wake Forest, North Carolina, class of 1978, Dr. Jane R. Colton.
Thank you. Well, this is day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I am so glad to be in your midst one more time. I want to greet our honorable interim president, Dr. Alex Johnson, our incoming president, Dr. Maureen Kute, our director of alumni, Mr. Keith Parkin, of course, the president of our Alumni Association, Mr. Anthony Gardner. And of course, to this wonderful faculty and student body, I greet you all. Give yourselves a hand. You deserve it. I have to tell you the challenge of my position today is to call out the names of those who have deemed me worthy of support. Truly, I am grateful for you all. First, I want to recognize Mr. Edwin Lloyd and Dr. Charlotte Allen for their nomination. I am truly grateful. I am also grateful for the presence of my family who traveled from Maryland to be here with me today. My sister, Miss Melody Dixon, and my niece, Miss Christiane Yalaudi. Years ago, a tornado wreaked havoc on this campus and threatened its existence. I arrived as a freshman to stories of cows in trees and buildings demolished in seconds. The only hope of promise was the energy of the expectant students and the committed determination of the faculty and staff. Yet, here we are today on this beautiful campus, not just restored, but amplified. Central State University is more than a survivor. It is a trailblazer. Where others may have given up, this university has expanded its possessions, its programs, and its student body. As a land-grant institution, it is a jewel amongst HBCUs and the academic community. In general, I have to say, our forebears would be so proud of what you have accomplished. Among them were my teachers, my mentors, and role models, Dr. Lionel Newsom, Dr. Arthur Thomas, Dr. Gilliard, and Dr. Nicholas Garrett. I call out their names in salutation for the work that they laid down. To the student body, I may not know your name, but your presence here at Central State University is important to me because you are my future. Your achievements, the work that you will do, will help to change the world. I said you will change the world. I pray that you will embrace all Central State has to offer, including the influence of your instructors, the experience of extracurricular activities, and the opportunities for career development offered through cooperative education and internships. Take advantage of those. Finally, to the faculty and administration, I thank you for the seeds that you have planted and the work that you are doing. We are all working. I don't know where all that came from. Just popped up. As I was saying to the faculty and the staff, thank you for the seeds that you are planting. For you will see a good crop come up. I can tell you that because I am a product of your predecessors' work. I remind you that your students are the most important resources that you have. And I ask you to use all of your resources to support them. Finally, I remind you that we do this for God, for Central, for state. Bless you. Bless you.
All righty, all righty. Had a little coughing spell there. So I know I always, if you listen real closely, I'm always throwing little dingers in there. Just keep make sure that you're paying attention. So my next round of shout outs is very important because as this is a social media age, right? And a lot of things be posted on social media and get the alumni all riled up. And we be really, really come down here and want to protest, you know. And some of the things you just got to sit back and you got to watch. And even though I be writing these long responses, then I just delete them because that's not my job as president to be throwing gasoline to the fire. But what I do behind the scenes is I attack the problem behind the scenes like I should. And I want to acknowledge a few people who I'm always bugging when things arise because sometimes you gotta sit back and see what's being said and then you react. I want to acknowledge the housing director, Justin Fry. Is he here today? It's always housing and financial aid, correct? I want to acknowledge Ms. Stephanie Morton Jackson. Is she here today? In the finance office, I want to acknowledge Mr. Hakeem Evans and Candace Wilson. Are they here today? See, we show love. In admissions, I want to acknowledge Dr. Tammy Love. Is she in the audience? No? In my favorite office, who I like to bug, the institutional advancement, I want to acknowledge a couple of people in that office. First of all, VP Gray, if she's out there. My homie, Kim Clay Jones, she's in the audience. And Robin Davis, is she in the audience as well? Yes. It's important because we celebrating today. It's important that we also acknowledge those that are keeping the ship running, right? This is home. I consider this home. I hope everybody out there consider this home. But this next honoree, he trumped all of us because this is home for him. He's from Wilberforce, Ohio, class of 1979, currently living in Kalamazoo, Michigan, Dr. Gonzalez Rodriguez, Jr. Just a quick snippet before you come up here. Dr. Rodriguez has been given a waiver for the 3-minute limit. So Dr. Gaines, you don't have to play the award show music if he goes too long. He has a pass today because he's truly at home.
Good morning, family. It is with gratitude and honor to be accepted into the Central State University Alumni Achievement Hall of Fame. President Kuti, Selection Committee, National Alumni Association members, simple words cannot convey how meaningful it is to join other distinguished alumni. Especially my late father, Gonzalo Rodriguez Sr., Mr. Bookstore, into this august assemblage. It is with genuine pride and great expectations that I, like the 12th century theologian John of Salisbury said, "We are like dwarfs sitting on the shoulders of giants. We see more and things that are more distant than they did, not because our sight is superior or because we are taller than they, but because they rise us up, and their great stature adds to our own." And with that truth, I carry within me all of those associations, and I'm compelled to use the opportunities afforded me and the lessons learned in my life to realize that the human connection serves as a foundation for all that we do, and all that we can hope to accomplish of significance in our lifetime. Having grown up in Wilberforce, it is a source of nostalgic pride to see campus buildings with names of individuals that I've had the privilege of knowing and interacting with. Uncle Charles, Vivian Lewis, Walter Sellers, icons. They helped shape me because this was my family. Those associations and experiences propelled me forward as I negotiated the challenges of life. My joy of lifelong learning began here, and I am proud to say that my Central State University experiences have given me the confidence to lead regardless of the obstacles. I am privileged to be part of this community, and I'm able to state firsthand the joy that I've had in lifelong learning, and that began here. To the students, I challenge you to take advantage of your experiences while at Central State University. The dedicated faculty members are willing to offer their expertise to nurture those who are willing to listen and learn. Present times require your best selves, equipped with your academic excellence that represents the pride and hopes of your ancestors. Every day through my work as an academician, as a clinician, as an obstetrician gynecologist, who've been privileged to bring more than 8,000 lives into this world. My life began here. I was touched by individuals who came this morning, said to me, "I saw your father." No, I see your mother in you. I knew them before they even conceived of you. I am intentional to honor the dignity of those whom I care and equally provide, as our Creator would, the understanding and the respect that each individual deserves. I am grateful to the authenticity detectors I have had on my way of patients, resident physicians, medical students, friends, family, who have taught and motivated me greatly. They are the experts in knowing what makes a great teacher, makes a great mentor, a physician, a colleague, a friend, and a sand. Who generally cares about individual welfares and seeks to motivate them not only to do their best, but to bring cultural empathy for those along with them on their journeys. I am grateful for my family here. You are my family. I am so grateful to be acknowledged and celebrated here, especially my son Braden, who carries the torch of academic excellence and the commitment to the well-being of humanity. I thank my dear wife of nearly 35 years, Lisa. My life in the delivery room. I thank you. My dear sister, Linda Rodriguez Wilson, class of 1981, who nominated me for this esteemed award. If more people had the experiences that I have enjoyed at Central State University and in Wilberforce, our world would be a better place. Let us leave here today with the added commitment for God, for Central, for State, and to be better and to do better. Thank you very much.
Well, to be truthful, that really wasn't that bad. 'Cause he warned us last night to say he was going over his 3 minutes. So I told him, well, you know what, you got it, because I'm not about to have you sit down. But Mr. Gaines, just so you know, he was the only one that had a waiver. So when the next one come up, we can start that clock again. One more acknowledgement. I want to acknowledge our provost, Dr. Brooks. So like I said, I'm always sending emails to individuals when things happen, or I see things happening on Facebook or in the media. Dr. Brooks is special. I don't know what his major was, but when he always responds, and then he has bullet points on what they're going to do next to correct the problem. Just wanted to acknowledge that. He must be an English major or something. All righty, moving along. From Zanesville, Ohio, currently in Montgomery, Alabama, class of 1981, Mr. Samuel P. Martin.
Tick-tock. Good morning. Let me start by thanking the selection committee for this recognition and thanking A. Christopher Lyons for nominating me. And recognizing my family that's here, specifically my mother and my daughters. sister, aunts, and some cousins. So thank you so much. There is something about being on this campus in the Paul Robeson Cultural Arts Center at 10 o'clock a.m. on a Tuesday morning that feels right. This building opened my freshman year, and it is in this very building that on Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock, over 45 years ago, that I was introduced to some of the most impactful Black people in the history of this country. It was here that I was introduced to people that at the time we only read about in the newspaper or magazines. Stokely Carmichael, Dick Gregory, Nikki Giovanni, Julian Bond, Louis Stokes, and others. Rosa Parks. Seeing those people and listening to their stories helped me and countless others realize that we're only limited by the constraints that we place on ourselves. I know there are people who graduate from college and think, one day I'm going to be recognized by my university for one reason or another. I was not one of them, which makes this award even more humbling. When I graduated in 1981, I did not have a vision to think in those terms. I was just grateful. I was grateful for the education, grateful for the knowledge, grateful for the insight, grateful for the world that had been opened to me. And most of all, I was grateful for family. And I was a little scared, not because I wasn't ready. I knew it was time to go. But the reality of graduating meant leaving this place that had become so special to me. Over the years, I have seen people wearing shirts proclaiming they were born in this place, but they grew up at ... You fill it in. That's me. I grew up in Zanesville, Ohio. I was born in Zanesville, Ohio. But like many others, I grew up at Central State University. This is a place that opened my eyes to the possibilities in life. The place that allowed me to experience my culture firsthand, our history, and to experience Black folks in every role imaginable. It made me proud. It gave me hope. And most of all, it prepared me for what was to come. I'm from a small town in southeastern Ohio. And while we had successful Black folks, we did not have the cast of characters that I was introduced to when I arrived on campus. People who continued the work that my parents had started. When I got here, somehow Central State knew what I needed. It knew I needed the sophistication of Dr. Lionel Newsom, strolling regally across campus in his hunter's cap, tweed jacket with patches on the sleeves, smoking a pipe, interacting with students and passing on wisdom. It knew that I needed the brashness of Dr. Arthur Thomas, in a dashiki, or leather suit, or crocodile cowboy boots, spitting knowledge, challenging us to not be afraid to ask why, and encouraging us to get to the library. It knew that I needed Dr. Joseph Lewis. He was our brown bomber, helping us discover our Blackness and the pride that came from discovering it. And after spending just a few minutes on campus today, I realized that Central State knows what you students need. And your giants are here also right now. I don't know how Central State knew, but they did know. The Central State tradition runs deep in my family, with members graduating back to the 1950s. I have two uncles, an aunt, two brothers, a sister who graduated from this campus, a sister who currently works here. Central State gave me my wife 40 years ago. And they gave two of my siblings their spouses. Like most people, I've met some wonderful people along the way, many who are proud HBCU graduates, and I've been in countless conversations with Morehouse men, Spelmanites, Bison from Howard, Hamptonians, and others. I've listened to their stories, and I've told a few. Now, as I listen to their stories, I'm quick to remind them that I wouldn't trade places or my stories with them for anything in the world. A few of them have asked along the way, are we the pirates? And I proudly tell them, no, we are not. We're named after the Marauders. They were raiding ships and freeing slaves back in the 17th century. At Central State University, Marauders have been freeing minds since the 19th century. I started my remarks telling you how grateful I am for the many things that Central State has given me. And now it's given me one more thing, the honor of leaving my name in the archives of this great institution that I love so much. And for that, I am grateful. I thank you, as we say here, for God, for Central, for State, and as my sister remind me, for life.
It's life is funny. It's how you begin and how you end. I came to Central State University fall quarter of 1987, and I had an RA, and he was strict. Man, he was strict. But guess what? He's my man now. He's the dean of college business, Mr. Dr. Fred Akins. Our next honoree from Dayton, Ohio, and still chilling in Dayton, Ohio, from the class of 1983, Ms. Chronicle A. Jackson.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to be brief because as a middle child, I was always quiet and reserved and didn't really have much to say. So I'm going to be brief today. When I came to Central State in 1978, I came on a principal's scholarship from Colonel White High School. And one of my classmates and I decided that we were going to be roommates together at Central State. Well, over the summer, she decided to get married, which meant I came to Central State by myself, knowing no one. And as my parents and I walked down the hall, the third floor of Williamson Hall, I heard this really off-key song coming from one of the open doors. And I just looked at my parents and said, I hope that's not my room. Well, to my surprise, it was my room. 305 Williamson Hall, and my roommate and I are still the best of friends today, just as we were back in 1978. One of our favorite things to do, as Mr. Martin already stated, was to come to the convocations every Tuesday at 10 o'clock a.m. And I also was introduced to several people that I'd only read about and seen on magazines and television. One of my favorites was seeing Mrs. Rosa Parks and hearing her message. And I also got an opportunity to see Reverend Jesse Jackson and Mr. Stevie Wonder. So I encourage you all to take advantage of all the opportunities that you have, all the classes that are offered. Make friends that are lifelong friends, because I said I came here knowing nobody, but I left here with lots and lots of friends. And with my experience of being sometimes financially strapped, I did get a lot of help, and I used my bad situations to encourage others in my church and in my community to help get the scholarships, and as well donating to various organizations to encourage the building of scholarship for others in need. And I'd like to thank the National Association of Alumni Association for this opportunity. And I also like to thank my God for my life. And I'd like to thank my church members, Tabernacle Baptist Church, my sorority sisters of Beta Eta Omega Chapter, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, my family, my friends, and the Dayton Alumni Association for their support over the years. And I'd like to also thank my nominator, Mr. Willie A. Terrell, Jr. Thank you.
All righty, let's keep this ship moving. I said ship. I heard some say, ooh. I say ship. I'm from Detroit, right? My mama's side is from Mobile, Alabama. My father's side is from Tennessee, so I'm city country. So sometimes words might say, did he really say that? Our next honoree from Cincinnati, Ohio. And he's still in Cincinnati, Ohio, from the class of 1986, Mr. Philip Black.
Good morning. Had to make sure we were still in the morning hours. To the President-elect, Dr. Cootie, Interim President, Dr. Johnson, faculty and staff of this great institution. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to accept this esteemed honor bestowed upon me. I am truly humbled. To God be the glory. Congratulations to my fellow Hall of Fame class of 2024. And before I make my comments, I have to thank my lovely wife, Ms. Monica Williams Black, class of 1992, for nominating me. Also like to acknowledge and thank two of my many siblings. You read the program, you can see I'm from a large family of 12, 3 sets of twins. I have a twin. My brother John, my sister Nita. I'd like to thank them for coming up to share this moment with me. Also like to thank my other friends, my fellow Star chapter from Cincinnati Alumni chapter, my classmates from the class of 1986, and my brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, especially those here, Delta Z chapter. I stand here as an ambassador of Central State. Whether you are a pirate, a marauder, or a centurion, we are all ambassadors and official representatives of this great university, Central State University. We have continued duties and responsibilities to spread the good news of our institution for we have a responsibility in its growth. Arriving here at Central State in 1983 was the beginning of my transformation and the molding of my character. You see, CSU was and is your proving grounds. As a student, you may not be aware of the many elements affecting you here that's going to affect your future. Central State played a major role and has a mass impact of my life. Developing myself in education inside the classrooms, but as someone mentioned earlier, Dr. Joe Lewis told me, your classroom is not just here in Wesley Hall. Your classroom is on this campus. Get to know somebody outside of your Cincinnati brothers and sisters. And I took that a heed. Whereas it was many years in Cincinnati, fellow Centralians would ask me, how long have you been here in Cincinnati? I said, well, I was born and raised. Well, I thought you were from Chicago. I said, no, that's where I just like to hang out and learn. Because although many African Americans, I understood when I came here to Central State that we were from various backgrounds and subcultures of our cultures. So you are at your proving ground. The vast cultures and styles that I had the opportunity to come across when I was a student here at Central State helped mold my 33 years in law enforcement. Being retired December 11th of 2020 was my last day with the Cincinnati Police Department, a career that I had no intention of becoming a police officer or even in law enforcement because I had my differences. But I relied on the experience that I gained here at Central State. And Lord and behold, I never knew that I would continue to utilize those experiences here as a student. Whether it's being a student government as the Chief Justice in 1985, 86, whether it's being in a political science club. And I'll let you know, and this is something I didn't have in my notes, I wanted to be a politician. I still enjoy politics now, but I don't think I'm going to get into it. I'd like to do it from the back, from the side, and just be a spectator. But we all are agents. We all are agents of Central State. The job, the work, it's a lot out there, and it's going to continue. So once again, I thank you to the National Alumni Association Hall of Fame Selection Committee. I'd like to thank Director of Alumni Affairs, Mr. Keith Aaron Perkins, President of the NAA, Anthony A.G. Gardner, my fellow board members of the NAA, and my fellow Central State family. The work continues for God, for Central, for State. Thank you.
So we had an office pool that Brother Black would be the longest, but he wasn't. So I'm not going to tell you who voted on him. They told me to always bet on Black. Our next honoree from Cleveland Heights, Ohio, currently residing in the capital, Columbus, Ohio. From the class of 1997, Mr. Manuel M. Brooks.
Greeting, everyone. Good afternoon. I believe it's afternoon time. First of all, my anxiety is on 10 right now. The number one fear is talking in front of a large crowd, but I'm fine. Greetings. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for this honor. I'm very humble and appreciative of this award. So, all to my honorees, classmates, thank you. All the board members, presidents, interim, thank you. National Alumni President Keith Aaron Perkins, Director of Alumni Relations, thank you. First thing I'd like to acknowledge my family who came out to support me. First of all, I have my fiance, Renee, she's out there. Proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Also my twin brother, Marvin Brooks, he's out there. Proud member of Iota Phi Theta Alpha Mu. Also have my older brother, Michael Brooks, class of 86. He's actually my nominator, so I thank you. Proud member of our greatest fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Yo to the newts. Yo, yo. Home. Home. Central State is home. I had a long journey here, and I do appreciate everyone and supporting me. And of course, first thing you have to do is be a servant. I came here in 1983. Yeah, I look good, but not that good. I came here on behalf of my brother, Michael Brooks, class of 86. We were 12 years old. We first came on campus. In 83, it was hot. Hot and really nothing here to do. So we're little kids, 12 years old. We walked down the street. He lived down the street in one of those houses down there. So it was a great experience. So my brother definitely influenced my twin brother and I to come here. So I came here, and after I graduated in 97 and came back to Cleveland, I immediately joined the alumni chapter. And that's where they fostered me. They helped me. I did every position to recruitment, scholarship, came vice president, and eventually became president of the chapter. Still the youngest one, other chapter. And of course, I went ahead and moved down here to Columbus and became chapter president for 10 years in Columbus. So I do encourage all students, seniors, please, and those alumni who do not belong to alumni chapter, who do not belong to the National Alumni Association, the information is out there. It's on our website, Central State University. It's about priority. So please, for those seniors, there are respective alumni chapters in your city. So please look out for that. It's on our website. And of course, I know AG will speak for that as well. And become financial. We need for you to be financial in both National Alumni Association as well as local chapters. So please be financial. And one last thing, I didn't do a speech. I didn't write a speech out. One last thing, I'd like to thank my parents. My parents have passed away, unfortunately. And for those who don't know, my mother passed away in 95. Actually, I was here, my brother and I was here at school. She passed away suddenly. So we had to go home, of course, as expected. And my father told us to go back. I didn't want to go back because I was so my world just ended at that time. Didn't want to go back. My father told us to go back to school to graduate. So I hope my parents are proud of me right now. So I'd like to thank everyone, as always, in party for God, for Central, for State. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Had a funny story last night regarding the twins. When Minnie's brother Marv came into the reception, Marguerite Parker and her assistant was pinning him and congratulating him, and he stood there for a minute, and then I guess he was accepting it and enjoying a moment, and then he finally said, "Oh, I'm not Manny, I'm his twin brother." So that was funny. Our next honoree from my hometown, Detroit, Michigan. Currently in Southfield, Michigan, class of 1998, Miss Kimberly Johnson.
You know, I love that man. Oh, Central Dear, we sing of thee. To Dr. Alex Johnson, Dr. Cootie, Mr. Perkins, to Mr. Gardner, I appreciate your nomination as well. The esteemed dais and all my fellow inductees, good morning. To God be the glory for all that he has done. Here today with me is my husband that you've heard. He's my motivator. He is my partner. He is always with me, and I appreciate him. I have my youngest daughter here with me. My oldest daughter is not here, my son. And I'm just very thankful as this girl from Detroit who is a first-generation college graduate, but I have currently two college graduates, one in college, and both of my daughters are my legacies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I would try to hold back my emotions for the next couple minutes because I was unable to do that last night when we had our gathering. And my emotions come from the love that I have for this place and for the people who attended Central State with me. Even if you didn't attend with me, there is still love when you meet someone from Central State University. I will tell you that it was the Cosby Show and A Different World that inspired me to attend an HBCU. And I didn't have that background, so I didn't know what college would be like. Born in Central State, born in Detroit, as I heard my brother Sam speak, I grew up at Central State University. And while I came here, it was unexpected. I didn't expect that I would actually graduate from here. On my graduation day, it wasn't because I didn't have the academic scores or the grades, but on my graduation day, while everyone was celebrating, because my whole family was around, my mother shared that she had breast cancer and was preparing to have surgery. So that was news to me, as well as the rest of my family, and I had 4 younger brothers. There was a fear, again, not of my academic abilities, but would I be able to stay? Or would I have to go home and help to take care of them and help to take care of my mother? And I said, if I can just get at least a year of college under my belt. Central State is not too far, so it eliminated other places. But I said, if I can just get a year, that will be more than I can have with no college education at all. But then I came here and I heard Dr. Art Thomas talk about how powerful we were and how we could do whatever it was that we wanted to achieve, and just always encouraged us. And you heard about the prominent leaders that were always brought in front of us. I was encouraged by professors. I was encouraged by my peers. You connect with people who are on the right path and we've motivated each other to do more, to graduate, and to stay focused. We partied too. We partied. But I would tell you, when I was unsure of myself, it was the experience here that motivated me, and those same experiences continue to motivate me. Despite of how you get here, you have an equal opportunity to move forward and to blaze paths. When I returned to Detroit, I thought I was going to go to law school, but it was my English professor, my junior year. I thought I was coming to hear her lecture, and I did not prepare for class. Instead, I walked in the room, and there were 10 chairs sitting in a circle, and we were going to discuss the book that we read. I didn't read. My peer Julian said, "What do you mean you didn't breathe?" That never happened again. But I loved how she asked us, how did you interpret the author and what they stated in this chapter? What do you think? What would you have done? And it inspired me. How can I come back and help children love to learn and help them and take a different approach than the regular classroom of just sitting there and lecturing and giving ditto sheets? So that inspired me to go back, and I went back to my old middle school to teach. Then that evolved into a nonprofit administration position. Since that time, I have helped hundreds of young people to go to college when I didn't think that I would graduate myself. I have started a nonprofit organization with $750. Now I broker deals, $1 million deals for youth and families in Detroit, and will open a $7 million facility this fall for youth and families. I say that to say, when I always meet someone from Central State, I want to help. I help hundreds of young people. We serve over 1,000 youth every year with free programs for them and their families. So I say to those who are from Detroit, hit me up, find me. And I say I learned all of those skills from being here at Central State. So again, take advantage of those opportunities. Never forget to bring someone else with you as you climb the ladder of success, because success is yours. Our alma mater guides us and is great for God, for Central, for State. Thank you.
One-man hype squad. That's good, that's good. We all know Director Keith Aaron Perkins runs a tight ship. But I want to acknowledge the captain of his ship, Miss Marguerite Parker. Are you in the audience? Please stand and be recognized. Another homegirl from my hometown, Detroit, Michigan. The motor, the D. Currently still living in Detroit, Michigan. You see how I say that? Detroit, Michigan. Class of 1999. Miss Dawn Floyd.
Good afternoon. I am so full. God is just so amazing. And I am standing here as a graduate of the Central State University. And as I look out here, I am reminded of my time here on a Tuesday morning when I never knew who would be up here responsible for feeding us, pouring into us. And I am forever thankful for our past president, Dr. Arthur E. Thomas, who knew that that is what we needed as students here at Central State. And so before I get started with my remarks, I want to acknowledge our president, interim president, Dr. Alex Johnson, our current president, Dr. Tootie, and to our director of alumni affairs, who every time he sees my number, he picks up. And I thank you for that. Mr. Keith Perkins, who always says that his mantra is, a university is no stronger than its alumni. we know that to be very true. And to our NAA president, the one who has kept us laughing this morning into this afternoon, yes, sir, Mr. Anthony Gardner, who is the reason why I'm standing here today. I thank you for your nomination. I thank you for being a part of the mission of my foundation. And knowing what we do is why you wanted to acknowledge the work that is being done. And so I thank you, humbly accepting this award here today. It was my senior year, and I knew that it was time to select a university. I didn't quite know where I was going to end up, but I knew that it had to be an HBCU. And so I selected Central State University because it was the closest school to home. But little did I know that I was getting ready to enter an institution that would be responsible for molding me into the woman that I am today. We all know that we come to college to get an education, but I got more than just an education here at Central State. I received a family, friends that became family, professors that cared about the success of their students. More than just that classroom setting, but even outside of the classroom. If you needed that extra assistance, they stayed after class, no matter if they lived in Cincinnati or commuted from Columbus, they stayed to make sure that you gained what they had to offer. Even times when I kind of was off track, they made sure that they pulled me back in. And so I'm forever thankful for those instructors that we had then and that I know that we still have now. But not only did we have professors that cared about their students, we had faculty that cared about their students. We had students that cared about the incoming students, that incoming freshmen that were coming. And as I reminisce on my freshman year, my parents drove me down 42 and I looked around and asked myself, what have I done? Where am I going? I pulled up in the back of Hunter Hall, and that realization that this was going to be home for me. But I was nervous. And so the tears started to come as if I was at a funeral instead of embarking upon my journey of college. But those tears were coming because I was afraid that I was leaving home. And then I was approached by a student who wore the best Greek letters on her shirt, and those letters of Delta Sigma Theta, Sorority Incorporated. Angela Mumford looked at me and said, "Why are you crying?" And I told her because I was afraid that I was leaving home. And she assured me that I was home. And so over those next, I can't say 4 years because I was on a little longer plan, but for those times that I was here, I truly understood that I was home. And so I gained friendships that will last a long time, a lifetime, those who are here today. But I didn't know what was ahead of me in terms of what God's plan was for my life. And that I would have to lean on those same centurions to get me through the roughest time of my life. You see, in 2015, I was diagnosed with stage 2B breast cancer that had spread to my lymph nodes. And I didn't know what the outcome would be. But I knew that God would sustain me no matter what. And He showed up and showed out in my life. And today I stand before you as not only a 9-year breast cancer survivor, but I stand before you as a founder of a nonprofit foundation, My Sister's Pink Journey. And this is why I am being honored here today, because of the work that God is allowing to be done, I knew that it is important to reach back and pull others through. You never know the impact that you will make on an individual. And so it is your responsibility, it is our responsibility to be of service. So I'm thankful that our mission is to be a source of financial support and encouragement for individuals that are in active treatment for breast cancer. So we provide financial support, encouragement to women in our community. And even though we are small, we are powerful. And I know that I would not be able to do what I do if it were not for the members of our community to help me achieve my mission, and a lot of them being Centralians. And so today I stand here thankful. I stand here thankful for my family who is with me today, my loving husband of this year, 24 years, that we met right here at Central State University. I'm thankful for my loving daughter who is a freshman here at Central State University, Anaya. I am thankful for my aunt, my sister, my aunt that's like a sister to me, my cousin that is truly a sister, and my actual sister, Savina, my mom, who tells me that I can when I sometimes think I can't. My dad, who always encourages me and never misses an opportunity to let me know that God has a purpose. And so I just want to move on in closing to the fellow marauders that we have here, that hopefully we have a few still left, to give you some words of encouragement. I challenge you to take pride in your institution of rich history. Get involved in campus life. If there's a program that you don't see, create one. Make your mark here on this campus. Cultivate a positive campus community where you are uplifting one another, where you are uplifting one another. Take action. Sometimes we fail to take action in our own lives because we're caught in a comfortable cycle. We may find ourselves following the crowd because it's easier than doing the right thing. Know that whatever your situation is, there is good that can come out of it. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew 5:16. I thank you again for this opportunity, for God, for Central, for State.
All righty. Almost at the finish line. So what Dawn didn't share with you is she fought me tooth and nail when I approached her and her husband back in December about nominating her for this award. And she just like, no, I haven't done anything. I'm not old enough. Yes, you did. You have done a lot. She has done a lot in the city of Detroit. Closing the show. I call him the youngin'. He's a youngin' of this class from Cincinnati, Ohio. Currently in the Windy City. And currently the first vice president of the National Alumni Association. From the class of 2008, Mr. Wayne Knox.
This is indeed an honor to be at my undergraduate alma mater, being recognized recognized and inducted into the Central State University National Alumni Achievement Hall of Fame. I can simply say wow and thank you, God. Before I begin my remarks, I have to do something that's really, really special to me because I didn't do it yesterday, but today is even better. I need to recognize the cornerstone to my life, Miss Michelle Knox, my mother. Would you please stand? My mother is the truest embodiment of grace, determination, and sacrifice. A woman who was blessed with 2 children early in life and had made it her life's commitment to ensure that we had nothing but the best, to ensure that education was first and foremost and paramount. So to her, I thank her for everything I am and will be. So thank you, Mom. I must also recognize my family's in the house as well. My lovely aunt, Chanel Cash, proud Morris Brown graduate, sister alumni institution. My father, Harold Cash, right there in the front row, for teaching me how to be the coolest man in the world. I see my YL family sitting back there, my classmates throughout the audience, and my fellow honorees and board members. Thank you very much for being here today. Truly, it is an honor. I'm reminded of the university's motto that's enshrined on our seal. Veritas, Lux, Recta, and Honor. Truth and light, straight and honor. We have an obligation as alums of this institution to be the light, to help drive it forward, to advance it, to protect it, to advocate for it. We have an obligation as alums to be straight in our honor for this institution as well, to help advance it forward. I'm reminded of my undergraduate days when our president, John W. Garland, bestowed upon us a set of core values: honesty, hard work, caring, and excellence. Those 4 core values were the cornerstone to our obligation to move this institution forward, to be responsible for helping to protect it, to advance it, and to be a part of lifting that great Central State University spirit. You've heard all the honorees before me talk about the power of this campus, the motivation from this campus, the light of this campus. And so I charge each of you to take that with you, these jewels that have been passed out today from the honorees and from all of those who are walking among this campus. We are truly blessed to be Centralians, and you are truly blessed to be current Marauders. I'm reminded of a parable that Oprah Winfrey shared years ago. She said, lots of people want to ride with you in the limo, but what you want is someone who will take the bus when the limo breaks down. I'll say that one more time. Lots of people want to ride with you in the limo, but what you want is someone who will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down. Central State University, we have been riding the limo for a very, very long time. And we've had a few breakdowns along the way, but I want to encourage you to always be with Central State on the bus and in the limo, because we have good days and we have some not so good days, but always keep Central State first and foremost. As I talked about being the light, think about the light in this concept, driving out negativity and toxicity, illuminating a path for others to follow or to preview for what is possible, providing warmth and comfort in times of sorrow and despair, or being present to serve someone as a simple reminder that brighter days are ahead. Central State family, please be the light of this world. As I move towards closing, I want to also pay special recognition to my nominator, Ms. Malva Alexander. She is here in the audience with us. Wave one more time for us. Ms. Malva Tony Alexander. When Tony called me to say that she was going to nominate me, I said, Tony, I don't think you should nominate me. I'm not quite of the maturity level, the vintage level to be nominated. She said, no, Wayne, you graduated, what, 1990, 92? I said, like maybe late 98, 2008. She said, 2008? I said, yes. She said, well, you have the maturity of someone who was beyond 2008. So I thank you, Malva, for seeing that in me and recognizing me for this occasion. But I say that to us to say, be the ambassador for this institution. My call to service started at the moment I left this institution to join the National Alumni Association, to be involved in my local chapter, whether it be in Dallas-Fort Worth, now in Chicago, being in Cincinnati, being here on campus as a student leader, to be a light, to be an ambassador for someone who's going to push forward the agenda of the university at all costs. Good days and our bad days, in the limo and or on the bus. It will always be Central State University. And I leave you with our most sacred phrase, for God, for Central, for State. Thank you.
Man, I'll tell you, these young alumni, they real humble, right? They don't never want to be recognized, but they're putting in work. And that's important. Get active, get involved. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our membership drive that we got going on. So with all these honorees that you heard, all these inspiring stories, there's no reason why the alumni that are out there that are not active don't get active. It's time. We have a website, fully functional website that you can pay your dues on. You can find a local chapter, or if you don't have a local chapter, you can be at large, or if you're brave enough, you can start a chapter. It's Central State University Alumni.org. That is our website. Our dues is only $50 for the NAA, plus your local chapter, whatever they charge. Some chapters charge 50, some chapters charge 100. Your money goes a long way. More importantly, it goes to scholarship. And that's what we're about, scholarship and supporting the student body. We also have an option. You become a life member. $500. You become a life member, and you never have to pay dues again. Right? $500. And guess what? You got a payment plan. $100 down, $400 got to be paid within 6 months, and you become a life member. Right? So with that being said, honorees, can you please stand up one more time? And let's recognize our 2024 Alumni Achievement Hall of Fame honorees. And before I turn the microphone back over to Dr. Brooks, in parting, as always, for God, for Central, for State.
We'll now have a music collection, Takita Lullaby by the Robeson Chamber Winds, under direction of Mr. Blake Gaines. I'd like to invite Dr. Derek L. Ford to give remarks on behalf of the Central State Foundation.
Thank you, Dr. Brooks. Mr. President,
Dr. Johnson, to Dr. Cootie. And I bring you greetings on behalf of the Central State University Foundation, where Dr. Derek Anderson serves as our president, Tiffany R. Gray as our executive director, and Sydney Evans as VP. And Dr. Kimberly Brooks serves as secretary, Alvin Tucker, treasurer, John W. Garland, Dr. Deborah Perkins, Jacqueline Gamlin, Curtis Simons, Charles Whitehead, Jason Dunn, Judge Michael Nelson, and Vernon Ford. Bring you greetings. It was once stated earlier during this convocation that a house divided will not stand. And I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a proud graduate of Central State University, class of 1990, was inducted into this Hall of Fame back in 2016. And if you would join me in the audience to stand and salute these new inductees at this time, that would be greatly appreciated. Let's stand and salute these new inductees. Thank you very much. Back on January the 26th was a historical day. We had an opportunity to witness our president, our interim president, Dr. Alex Johnson, the chair of the board of trustees, and as well as our Dr. Derek Anderson. And they signed, Jacqueline Gamlin is the chair of the board of trustees. They signed an MOU saying that we will work together as one family. And I want to challenge each one of you students, know this, our main number one goal as a foundation is to secure membership. Not membership, I'm thinking about the NACP now. It's to secure scholarships for you, to ensure that you have an opportunity to live out your greatest dreams. Education opens doors to unlimited possibilities. And it's our responsibility to ensure that you get a good quality education along with the great staff here at this university. So I'm gonna have everybody, one last time, everybody, including the inductees, to rise to your feet and repeat after me. To rise to your feet and repeat after me. Everybody inside the audience, across the spectrum of this audience. Because this is vitally important, ladies and gentlemen. Say, we are one family. We are one family. For God, for Central, for State. May God bless all of you. Thank you.
At this time, Ms. Jacqueline Gamlin will give remarks on behalf of the Central State Board of Trustees, trustee chair.
Thanks to everybody for hanging in there. We're almost done. It is my privilege to bring remarks on behalf of our Board of Trustees. As we commemorate the anniversary of the university's founding, we are reminded of the obstacles that we have overcome. We've heard about the tornado that destroyed most of our campus 50 years ago. We've talked about the long journey for us to achieve the historic 1890 land grant designation. And as we reflect on this history, we look to the future with anticipation and excitement about the education of our students. And we're confident in the leadership that we have in place with our interim president, Dr. Johnson, and our president-elect, Dr. Cootie. I want to thank our Hall of Fame inductees. I want to thank our keynote speaker. You have inspired us today. not only by your success, but by your passion. And my hope is that our students will look to each of you as an example of what is possible. What is possible? What the future holds for them. They are accomplished graduates of this distinguished university. They are a product of the work that each of you, our faculty, our staff, do here. That's what's possible. And I'd like to thank our Foundation Board member, Dr. Forward, for reminding us of what we can do together. Because everyone here is a part of a powerful Central State University community. And I'm confident that if we work together, we can stand proud and we can conquer any obstacle, we can face any challenge with courage and determination. Thank you.
Now I'd like to welcome Dr. Alex Johnson, the interim president of Central State University, and Dr. Murakio Kuti, vice president for research, economic development, and director of the 1890 land grant programs, and the incoming president-elect to give joint presidential remarks.
Thank you. Well, first of all, let me just thank all of you once again for hanging in there. 3 hours perhaps is a long time for a program, but when it packs the power and the value of the stories that you heard today and the opportunities that they provide for our students to live vicariously and to gain an opportunity for greater success, then it's worth it. What you saw before your very eyes was the evolution of Central State University and its history in a nutshell that allows us to not only honor the past, to bless the present, but to be prepared for the future. So as your interim president, during this 137th Charter Day, I am excited to be with you at an important time, and I want to extend once again my appreciation and thanks to the honorees. During a time of transition, we continue to provide a quality education in a culturally enriching setting as we undertook measures to ensure the long-term viability of the university. This, as you know, is an important responsibility. It comes during a moment when institutions from the Ivy League to community colleges are making the important and often difficult choices that allow them to remain viable and transformative now and in the future. So at this moment, I ask that we recommit ourselves to advancing Central State University as we welcome our 10th president, who must confront both real and existential challenges with great determination and humility. Central State has prepared him well for this role. His 30-year tenure is characterized by persistence and innovation as he progressed to the presidency. Throughout this duration, he experienced and offers solutions to the university's most pressing problems, and in his various roles has sought resources for innovations, bringing acclaim to the university. Dr. Murakio Kuti, Morax for short, and he doesn't mind being called that, is the ideal leader for this time, and it is my pleasure to welcome him to the podium. Dr. Kuti.
Well, Dr. Johnson said 3 hours, so we're going to make it 3 hours and a minute and a half. So I'm going to keep this very short. To the members to the personnel on the dais, and especially to the Central State University 2024 Hall of Fame class, I say congratulations. Your individual achievements after leaving Central State has earned you the distinction as a Hall of Famer at your alma mater. Last night we had stories, more personal stories from the honorees, and some of them shared the stories tonight. And several things stood out to me in their speech about their experiences on the yard. Yes. Those of you Centralians know what the yard is. One, your experiences at Central State University prepared you for success after graduation. Even some of the things you learned that you did not know you had learned until you went out into the world. And then you recalled, oh, I learned that at Central State University. And this experience, this shared experience, spanned over 40 years, as you can see from the class of '69, which started in '65, really, and ended in 2008. They all had the same common experience. Though each honoree's path and journey to Central State was different. After all, we had somebody who grew up on campus, to individuals from Chicago, Cincinnati, Detroit, Zanesville, Columbus, Dayton. They all left Central State University more accomplished than when they came here. Another thing I noticed was that lifelong friendships were formed on campus. And as I always tell students, the best 4 years of your life where you will form the most valuable friendships are on campus. Because that's when you have to stay in the room with somebody, go to class with somebody, and back in the day we used to take showers together. Right now you guys, you have your own separate showers and you do your own thing. But those common experiences are formed and they will last you a lifetime. Because like Wayne said, hey, if you can shower in the common shower, you can ride on the bus and ride on the limo, right? So I tell students, honor and cherish one another. Once you leave CSU, your opportunity to form meaningful relationships will be diminished because now you're striving to make your mark in the world, to strive for success. One more thing that the honorees said was to take advantage of all the opportunities presented before you. One of our honorees started a core program and went to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and she stayed there for 30-something years. So when we have a lead program, when we have career day, when we have internships day, students, I encourage you to go to all those events. And I always advise students, hang around with your faculty and staff. I came back to Central State University as an employee because my advisor brought me back. So go and see your faculty members after class. Because when they're grading your paper, if they remember you, that 79 might be 82. So get to know your faculty member. Talk to them after hours. Finally, our honorees are all proud Centralians, with the understanding that once you leave here, you represent Central State in all that you do. As one honoree, as Mr. Black said last night, don't disrespect the name Central State University. And as Wayne said, serve society to make the world a better place. Don't do it for recognition. Recognition will come in due time. And for the members of the 2024 class, your recognition has come from a very special place. Your home, your alma mater, Central State University. for God, for Central, for State.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Alex Johnson for serving as president and giving us clear, eagle-eyed guidance through this interim period. Thank you. And I also want to thank Dr. Kuti and let him know that we are looking forward to his leadership as we go on to reach higher heights. For our students that remain, you saw the successful graduates, and I'd like to encourage all of you to participate in this year's 2024 Career Expo Week, starting and ending Thursday, March 7, 2024, in the University Center Ballroom from 1 to 4. Business attire is required, and one day you may be sitting up here getting honored. Lastly, I would like to thank all of you, for hanging out to the end and attending this 137th Charter Day convocation. Would you please stand for the alma mater and the retiring of colors and recessional.
O Central dear, we sing of thee, maker of men who are free. We build in deeds thy greater name. We spread thy lasting fame. O Central, I will sing of thee. Truth and right our song shall be. Our alma mater guides us, and it's great. For God, for Central, for State, O alma mater, hail to thee. Builder of women to be, we build for thee in heart and mind. We seek thy grace divine. O Central, I will sing of thee. Truth and right our song shall be. Our alma mater guides us, and it's great. For God, for Central, for State, oh, speak to us, and we shall hear. Thy voice so near, so clear, and as we sail the future seas, through the years we'll sing of thee. Oh, Central, I will sing of thee. Truth and right our song shall be. Our alma mater guides us, and it's great. For God, for Central, for State,
Central State University family. Guess what day we're celebrating all month long?
Drum roll, please. It's the most exciting day of the year, the Central State University Charter Day.
That's right. We're celebrating our 137th birthday and the founding of our beloved CSU, born in 1887.
From our small beginnings to the vibrant and history-making community we are today,
every student, alumni, faculty, and staff member has played a part in our incredible journey.
And what better way to celebrate than by placing a candle on the Central State University birthday cake?
But wait, why stop there? We need your help to make this celebration truly special.
Whether you're a proud alum reminiscing about your time on campus, a dedicated faculty or staff member shaping the minds of our future leaders,
or a current student excelling academically and making memories that will last a lifetime.
You can be a part of this tradition by contributing to this year's Charter Day fundraising campaign.
So let's come together as one big proud Marauder family and show our love for Central State University.
Happy birthday, Central State University.
Let's make this year's Charter Day the best one yet.
light your candle today.
For God, for Central, for State.